What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on the Avengers 4 Endgame. So in today's video, we're going to do something a bit different. We're going to revisit one of the plot leaks. Now we've seen the first trailer, we've seen a bunch of new details, we know that a bunch of old characters are coming back, and we're going to decipher, is this leak actually real or is it one of the many fabricated ones? I thought it'd be pretty fun, as I really do enjoy these leak videos, and you guys seem to like them based on the feedback. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. We are doing a competition to win tickets to the Captain Marvel movie. All you gotta do is subscribe to me, follow me on Instagram at Warstu, and send me a DM or a message on one of the pictures letting me know that you have actually followed me. So take it with a pinch of salt, but I love going over these plot leaks. It's very interesting. So let's get right into the video. So the movie starts with Tony Stark and Nebula arriving on a destroyed Wakanda. They find all the Avengers devastated by the death of half of the universe's population. There is tension between Tony and Steve, who soon leaves the place. Black Widow follows him. So Kevin Feige did reveal that the marketing to this movie is going to be very different. So if you compare the first trailer, which is quote unquote misleading, Tony Stark's stuck on a spaceship. Now that scene might not even happen in the movie. So the movie could very well start in Wakanda, and most people expecting the movie to start with Tony Stark being like stuck in space. So it's very interesting. So MCU opening logo, Avengers theme in a slow pace, announcing a real start to the movie. It is shown what happened after Infinity War. We then see some of Doctor Strange's 14 million vision, showing how to beat Thanos. Based on other dimensions, different times, that includes scenes showing a dead Thor, Captain America wielding Thor's original hammer, Tony Stark with tech gauntlet, and a Grey Hulk among some other flashes. So this will happen. We will see ultimate realities, ultimate dimensions. This is pretty much confirmed. The whole scene is cut to show Doctor Strange's face waking up in a place that looks just like the one that Thanos was talking to, an infant Gamora. After he snapped his finger, Thanos looks around and sees thousands of capsules floating through the place. And it is shown that those capsules retain all the beings that were killed by the snap. After that, Thanos comes back to Kid Gamora again, and we know that place is the Soul Stone. So there's not really any new information that's come out that does confirm or deny this. We don't actually 100% quantifiable know where them bodies have gone. Doctor Strange finds some characters that his visions revealed, like Hank Pym, Star-Lord, and some unknown characters so far that will be introduced in the Captain Marvel movie. Doctor Strange managed to move inside the Soul Stone due to a spell that he casted before dying. He then uses the same spell to unfreeze the people. He does that to Hank Pym. So yeah, he did this obviously before he gave Thanos the Time Stone. We did see it was glowing green. That implied something actually happened. On Earth, Tony Stark becomes S.H.I.E.L.D. brand director. He authorizes the activation of the Iron Legion to help rebuild the world. Some units were created to help people that lost their closest ones, like Aunt May and the boy he met in Iron Man 3, who's lost his parents. After the snap, Tony also uses the Iron Legion to search for Thanos throughout the galaxy. So we know the Iron Legion has literally been confirmed to either be revealed or shown during this movie, as there is a bunch of concept art to back that up. So yeah, I think this bit is pretty legit. Captain America and his team now search for Hawkeye. We know Hawkeye's in the movie, so it's interesting. Who goes by the name of Ronin and wears a mask, now being an out. He's tracking a person believed to be a Skrull. Steve's intent to gather all Cap's team's heroes that were in Civil War. Seeing as Tony and Steve are still acting like they don't like each other, they try to find Ronin. Captain America then asks about Scott Lang and how they can find him. Thor meets Dr. Savig, and they go again to the cave where he had the first vision of the Infinity Stone during Avengers 2. In this new vision, Thor finds that everyone who died after the snap weren't really dead but kept inside the Soul Stone. With this information, Thor goes to Tony and tells him everything he saw. At this moment, Captain Marvel appears flying over Manhattan. Tony and Thor go after her, treating her like a new threat. They start a fight where Captain Marvel shows all her power and defeat both the Avengers. Captain Marvel then tells them she received a signal from Nick Fury. Tony accepts that she represents no threat. Doctor Strange, gathering Hank Pym knowledge from the quantum realm, manages to find a way out of the Soul Stone through Doctor Strange's dimensional domain, and with that they manage to go to another dimension, which is the quantum realm, where Scott Lang is stuck. With the help of Janet Van Dyne, Doctor Strange finds out that it's possible to contact Wong in the same way she contacted Scott Lang through his mind. That way Wong reaches the place where the quantum realm machine is and brings back Scott Lang, who brings all three back to the real world. So far, a lot of this could make factual sense, and we do know this movie will be 3 hours plus. Captain America has a long beard and long hair, and is absolutely torn and distressed at this stage, whereas in the first trailer, it's been months. We see Steve Rogers, he's had a shave, he's got the vintage look. But is the first trailer misleading? He blames himself for all the losses he had after Thanos' snap. There's a scene where Cap's team fights the Skrull. The scene is really intense with fight and brawls. Cap's team is almost defeated when suddenly a shining gold light appears in the sky, defeats all the Skrulls in a matter of seconds. That being is Captain Marvel. Well, we know that's pretty true. She is an absolute beast. Captain Marvel was sent by Tony to find Captain's team and invite them to join the fight with Thanos once again in a temporary truce provided by Tony. Captain Marvel looks at Steve in a bad state and questions him about Captain America's honor, doubting that he could really be the legend that she once heard of during her childhood. In an emotional military dialogue with Captain Marvel, Steve is once again motivated to fight again. They move to S.H.I.E.L.D.'s headquarters, where they find Tony after a virtual reality video is shown to introduce the whole story so far to Captain Marvel, passing through the Battle of New York all the way to Thanos' snap. Tony gives Captain America's traditional suit back to Steve along with his shield. Steve cuts his hair and shaves. So could the scene in the first trailer be like halfway into the movie? And this is where they're going, we don't know if this plan is going to work. I don't know what I do if the plan doesn't work. Taking back the appearance of Captain America of the first Avenger. But Tony says that this is a temporary, and after all this is taken care of, there will be reckoning. So it could have a good indication that the first trailer isn't the first 15 minutes, but it could be. After all that, 3 teams are gathered. Tony Stark, Thor's team, Captain America, and Doctor Strange, and Hank Pym. Hank manages to create a form of tracking the energy trial of the stone. Finds Thanos' whereabouts. Hank Pym and Tony Stark then create devices that can reap the energy of the Infinity Stone, making it possible for humans to hold one of the Infinity Stones without dying. Such a device is given to Thor, Iron Man, Scott Lang, Captain America, Captain Marvel, and Bruce Banner. After successful attempts to turn into Hulk again, manages to finally transform, but keeping his own mind, becoming Professor Hulk. Now, there's leaks proving factual evidence that Professor Hulk will be coming out to play, so we know that's true. They all travel towards the planet where Thanos is, and they start the final battle. It is a very intense and thrilling fight against Thanos. In a given moment, it looks like the Avengers will lose, but then Captain Marvel appears, shining with great power, faces Thanos in an epic battle. She aims on destroying the gauntlet. The Avengers are together once more. They manage to destroy the gauntlet, which explodes. All the stones on the floor. The Avengers retain possession of almost every stone, but Thanos falls back and retreats to the Soul Stone, which disappears. After that, Hank, who is still on Earth, manages to track the whereabouts of the Soul Stone that came back to Volmir, where Thanos sacrificed Gamora. Arriving there, they start a quest for a stone in teams of 2. Tony Stark finds the place and faces Red Skull. Steve is shocked that Red Skull is still alive. Red Skull then explains that he is now immortal but can't leave Volmir. Now that he's the Stonekeeper, he instructs them, in order to gather the Soul Stone, they have to sacrifice something that is dear. He is then suggested that Tony's admiration for Steve and vice versa is marvelous. Tony looks to Steve, Steve looks to Tony. In a brief moment of silence, Steve gives Tony his shield and says, "Goodbye, my dear friend." In an emotional, sad scene, Steve throws himself on the cliff, sacrificing his life in order to give Tony the Soul Stone. I think everyone called this scene. I honestly think this will happen. There will be some version of someone going to Volmir, most likely these two, and I can see Captain America saying something like that, and it will be a very sad scene. After that, Captain Marvel sees the Soul Stone energy, follows it, investigates what's happening. There, she finds a heartbroken Tony Stark with the Soul Stone in his hand. She is sorry, but reminds Tony that it is his duty to accomplish. She gets 2 stones at the same time. Thor wields one without Pym's device, Scott Lang and Tony Stark with the device, with a stone for each one. They undo what Thanos did, and all the heroes inside the Soul Stone come back to life. Now, I don't really think that's going to happen like that. I honestly think, yeah, most of them will come back, but I honestly think some of the characters that were dusted will stay dusted. The movie ends with Doctor Strange caging Thanos in a dimensional prison in the quantum realm, surrounded by a spell. After that, there's a scene where all the MCU characters are gathered. Captain America's funeral. There are thousands of people in the funeral. It's a sad scene. Tony Stark says that the heroes will never give up, even if it means sacrificing one of their own lives. Now, yes, there is a scene where every single MCU character will be in it. Is it Iron Man's wedding? Is it Steve Rogers' funeral? We don't know, but it's good to speculate. If this is a plot leak, I wouldn't be too annoyed with this, to be honest. I think there should be a bit more quantum realm. So there is 2 post-credit scenes, supposedly. Everyone is coming out of the ceremony where Steve Rogers is buried. Few people remain there. All of a sudden, in a motion blur, a man appears in a wheelchair without revealing his face and wearing a hat, moving towards the screen. The man takes his hat off and is shown to be a bald person in a wheelchair, followed by 5 people. The music grows, the scene ends. Now, realistically, the Disney-Fox merger will be completed by then. So this scene could happen because it doesn't have to be casted. It could just literally be the Baxham. So this could happen. Now, the next bit is kind of like, really? Captain Marvel arrives on a devastated planet after receiving a stressed call. There she finds all the soldiers are dead. She questions one of the soldiers and asks what happened. The soldier says a name. The name is Adam Warlock. Captain Marvel pulls a holographic device and contacts a name called Nova. Now we know if James Gunn actually got to do Guardians of the Galaxy 3, then yes, Adam Warlock would have came. And we know that plans for Nova will be in play. Now, the only thing that makes me think a bunch of these details on this plot leak isn't correct is there isn't a lot of Rocket Raccoon, there isn't a lot of Gamora, there isn't a lot of Nebula, there isn't a lot of Loki. So I don't believe this is kind of 100% correct. But I do believe a good proportion of this will be true. And obviously because of Nick Fury, because he's going to be in the first movie in Phase 4, Spider-Man Far From Home, I do think there should be some Nick Fury scene, seeing as Nick Fury was the one to call Captain Marvel. There should be some kind of scene with Nick Fury meeting Captain Marvel years later. As we know, Nick Fury will be one of the main stars, in fact, yeah, co-main star of the Captain Marvel movie that comes out in March. So I do think revisiting this again was worth it because a lot of it could actually happen. I don't think it's going to be a snatch and grab like everyone seems to think about it, but it didn't really state in depth how they get the stones back. So obviously plot leaks, take it with a pinch of salt, but I actually honestly like going over them. And if there are any other plot leaks that I can find, I will share them with you guys on the channel. As you know, we do cover more than just Marvel on this channel. We also do DC. We also do anime like Dragon Ball Z. We also do some gaming videos. So guys, the content will be getting more expansive. Don't worry, the Marvel videos are not going anyway. So guys, if you do want to enter the Captain Marvel giveaway, all you got to do is follow me on Instagram at Warstu. DM me. And guys, let me know down below. Let's have a conversation. Do you think this is real? Now, I know some people are going to say, but there is no greater threat. What if the greater threat is just Captain Marvel coming and destroying Thanos? That could be the greater threat. Obviously, we've got a bunch of videos lined up. I mean, I don't like to make these videos, but we're going to do some more theory videos about Kang the Conqueror and a bunch of other people. So if you do want me to go over any characters that could potentially show up in this movie, we could literally have anyone turn up. We know Frigga's going to be in it. We know Crossbones is going to be in it. We know a bunch of returning characters like Hela. There's going to be a lot of former MCU characters in the movie. So guys, let me know what is going going on in Avengers 4, Avengers Endgame? I really want to know. I love talking about this with you guys in the comment section. So if you could hit that subscribe button, hit the bell button to never miss any of the videos. If you want to join Team Warstu, just join the team by subscribing, liking and commenting, sharing the video with all your friends, and I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch ya later.